Lions and Packers, a battle for the NFC North. As we said, we've really actually enjoyed having Packers fans enjoy this content over the past couple of weeks. It sucks to have to talk about the Packers in such a positive light, but at the same time, I really do like their fan base. It is just a bunch of really fun people.
They comment such nice things.
Oh, they're great people, and they comment nice things. They just love football. Like, I mean, beer, cheese, bratwurst. It's like Wisconsin's awesome.
Oh, I'm picking Green Bay because of our subscribers.
Oh,
well, there are good things to look forward to for Green Bay. If things go as expected, Aaron Jones and Christian Watson are both expected to play. Jair Alexander is trending towards playing too. So you could start to see the Packers not quite at full strength, but getting pretty close. They'll still be missing Bakhtiari. They'll still be missing Devondre Campbell. I think Elgton Jenkins, he's also
out.
Play.
Yep. So 2 of the offensive linemen are out for this one.
You're still going to see things look a lot better, and you're going to need them to look a lot better because this Lions offense is relentless. The Packers defense is just not going to be able to stop them all night. Jordan Love's going to need to take advantage of those weapons coming back.
Yep, and Zach Tom, the tackle, is also questionable at the moment. There's a lot of injuries really on both sides. For Detroit, they're missing their right guard, and then Taylor Decker, their left tackle, their left guard, Jonah Jackson, is also they're both questionable. David Montgomery. There's a lot of injuries in this game. Hopefully everyone can play. And it'll be exciting to see Green Bay if they can get back to full strength. I can't believe I'm talking about the Packers in this light, but it'll be exciting to see Jordan Love play with them. What I am expecting to be one of the key factors of this game is the Detroit run defense this season has, for lack of a better word, just been spectacular, especially compared to what we were assuming coming into the year, or a lot of people were, and based off last season. 5th fewest yards allowed in the NFL at 72 points per game. Think about what they did to Bijan Robinson. After the Packers allow 19 carries for 124 yards, this same Falcons team, dominant on the ground, Bijan goes 10 carries for 33 against the Lions. Packers rushing offense is the 9th worst in the league at 90.3 yards per game. So you have what should be a stout Lions run defense against a weak Packers rushing attack, puts a lot of pressure on Jordan Love to operate at an efficient level. And that's what I'm really looking at for this game. Can Jordan Love continue the success we saw in the 4th quarter against the Saints after being stifled the first 3? Will he be able to get the job done?
I think that last week was huge for Jordan Love in terms of confidence. It has him, it has the Packers, it has the fans believing, you know what, like this kid can do it. This kid can be our quarterback. This kid can play in the league. This is a team that should be 3-0. It took a blown 12-point lead in the 4th quarter in Atlanta.
Yep.
And confidence is key for a quarterback as young as Jordan Love. I think Matt LaFleur gives a speech in the locker room this week, and he's like, you know what? This team kept us out of the playoffs last year in this building. Let's go get them tonight. Let's show them that they're the Lions and we're the Packers. This is Lambeau Field. They're going to rally and they're going to win this game.
I've been seeing some stories. I think you're right to focus on Jordan Love. I've been seeing some stories talking about how he takes a lot of checkdowns. And this is weird because if you actually watch the Packers games, they are one of the most aggressive offenses in the NFL. I mean, his air yards per attempt lead the league by a full yard ahead of Deshaun Watson. You know, he's in the top 5 in passes thrown 20 yards downfield and 10 to 19 yards downfield. This is an offense that comes out and wants to be aggressive. And I really like that, right? Jordan Love is getting confident. He's seen against the Saints that it can work when you're throwing those deep passes and he can get in a rhythm. And when you're making big plays, you don't need a whole lot of them to work out to win a game.
It's funny, Ziggy. Me and you, we pick topics for the show, and then we kind of do our own research. We have a general idea of what we want to talk about. But me and you today have just we've been on the same wavelength because I also was paying attention to the deep ball from Jordan Love. We talked about it after the Saints comeback, and I said on the show, I love that he just pushes it downfield. And he actually came out and said, I like pushing the ball downfield. This Packer offense, they take a lot of shots, and people get on Jordan Love for his completion percentage. It's 2nd worst in the league right now, behind only Zach Wilson at about, I think it's 55.3% at the moment. I'll have to double check that. But a reason for that is because he's taken so many downfield chances. Justin Herbert leads the league in completion percentage. That's because he also happens to lead the league in passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So Jordan Love, don't let it fool you. The completion percentage isn't great, but it's because they take chances, the Packers do. And now you add back Christian Watson, hopefully, hopefully for Packers fans. Hopefully you add him back, who was one of the better deep threats in football last year. And I really do think that they're going to have success against a Lions secondary that's also a little banged up. It'll be a great game. What it comes down to for me is this Lions offense has just been really efficient. And Jared Goff is playing some of the best football of his career, maybe the best. And I'm expecting them to be able to just outscore Green Bay, to outpace them. There'll be some stops. I mean, it'll be a good football game, but I like the Lions. They run the ball a lot. David Montgomery should be back. I'm not positive on that yet, but if he's back with Jahmyr Gibbs, you say the play action doesn't set up the pass. I don't know what you're talking about, Ziggy, but Jared Goff has been great in play action this year. I expect the Lions to win this because their offense can outlast Green Bay.
Well, that's exactly the point. Jared Goff has been great in play action despite the Lions' run game not being good.
This is a big game for the Lions. They're division favorites. They have aspirations to win the NFC North and make a playoff run. You have to win these types of games on the road against other potential teams who could win your division.
Yeah, and I saw these numbers on Aiden Hutchinson, which, remember last year, he might be like the drought breaker, Aiden Hutchinson. He comes into Michigan and sacks C.J. Stroud 3 times, ends a 10-year drought of Michigan losses to Ohio State. He comes in. The Lions, believe it or not, have won 3 straight against the Packers now. And he was all over Aaron Rodgers in that final game last year. I believe he had, 2 games against the Packers. He had 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and an interception. He's just been a monster. That was with David Bakhtiari, who's out. I think he's going to be a big disruptor. Again, close game. It'll be a good game. But Jordan Love's going to have to make a couple plays. Will he be able to get that done? I think he's just a little short in this one. This Packers team is convincing me, though, that they're going to be here all season with Detroit.
I mean, did you see how good Aiden Hutchinson was the defensive player of the week for a reason? Mm-hmm. Against the Falcons, he had 2 sacks, 2 passes defended, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Like, he is just...
Dude's a monster.
Boy, did the Jaguars look foolish not taking him number 1 like everyone thought they should. They took Trayvon Walker instead. Oh, he's so good, Paul. He's one of the best young defensive
Detroit's done a great job with the Penei Sewell pick and Aiden Hutchinson. Jahmyr Gibbs so far has looked good. He hasn't done anything crazy, but I can't help thinking, man, if they had gotten Jalen Carter and like their lines, their line's doing good. Remember, I just said how good their rushing defense is. We know the O-line's great, but
I mean, this is probably the game one of the games I'm most excited for this weekend.
Well, it's a prove-it game for both teams. This is really grab control of the NFC North right now because the Vikings and Bears are not showing signs of life.
And there's a world of Vikings and Bears both 0-4, and the winner of this game is looking really good.
It's turn every week. We're heading more and more towards a 2-horse race between these two, and you have them at home though. If you're Green Bay, you have them in Lambeau. Like you said last year, Detroit goes in and pushes you around in a game that meant nothing to them other than pride. So if you're LaFleur, you got to find a way to wake everyone up, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be an awesome game. And with Aaron Jones, we can't forget the impact of Aaron Jones on this offense. They look way different when he's in the game. Their running game has really been putrid since he's been out.
Yeah,
even with him, it wasn't good. But like he's one of the best backs in football. Adding Watson and Aaron Jones, it could be monumental for Jordan Love.
There's also, to me, like last year's playoff or week 18 game in Green Bay, Sunday Night Football. There seemed to be there was probably more pressure on Green Bay than Detroit because Detroit's playing for pride. Let's go out there and beat these guys. Whereas the Packers had to win that game. They were playing meaningful football. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like the pressure in this game is a little bit more
flipped
on Detroit. Like it's flipped. And that bodes well, in my opinion, for Green Bay.
That's what's fun about this year and Packers fans, please let us know in the comments if you agree with this. But what's so fun about this year, if you are a Packer fan, I don't want to say I don't want to be associated here. But what's fun for Packers fans is you got this young quarterback who is making comebacks now. Against the Falcons, they came up short, but he's making plays. He looks good. He kind of has a Rodgers feel on some of the throws, just the way he contorts his body. And now, like, you don't have pressure. Like, you're kind of just having fun this year. It's all great. Right now, this is gravy. Because you were just hoping he looked good. Now it's like, wow, the Vikings stink. The Bears stink. And it's Detroit. So there's a chance here, and I think you got to be having a really fun first month of the year.
If you beat the Lions at home and you're 3-1, I'm going to be like, okay, this
done.
This is on. Let's win this division.
Yeah.
Let's get a 3 or 4 seed.
Crazy.
No, whichever team wins this game should be favored to win the division because they'll have the tiebreaker over the only. They at least can't lose the tiebreaker to the only other relevant team in the division.
Yep. And I just trust Detroit more at the moment. Green Bay's good, but I trust Detroit more.